All right, today we're going to be starting Unit 4, and its title is Probability in Two-Way Tables. So we're going to be on page 1 through 4 today. So starting on page 1, a set is a collection of objects and each object is called an element of a set. A capital letter is used to define a set, and elements are listed within curly brackets. The set with no elements is called an empty set. And can be denoted as a 0 with a line through it, or just curly brackets with nothing inside. All right, then over here, there's a little note. A finite set has a distinct number of elements, and an infinite does not have a distinct number. So that an infinite could go on forever and ever and ever. So number 1, the set of states beginning with the letter O. So we're going to title this O, okay, set O. And then inside my curly brackets, I'm going to list all the states that start with the letter O. So Ohio, Oklahoma, and Oregon. All right, so we can consider this a finite set. So I'm going to put an F over here because those are the only 3 states that start with the letter O. So that's a finite. There's a countable number of elements in that set. All right, number 2, the set of prime numbers. So we're going to call this P, and then prime numbers are numbers that are only divisible by 1 in itself. So 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, and this set could go on forever. So I'm going to put an I for infinite. There's an infinite amount of prime numbers. We just listed the first few that are in that set. And then number 3, the set of multiples of 4 that are odd. Okay, so if you think of the multiples of 4, that would be 4, 8, 16, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, so on and so forth. And none of those are odd numbers. So that's an empty set. All right, next we're talking about a universal set, and we denote that as an uppercase U, and it contains all possible elements for a certain problem or situation. The complement of a set A is the set of elements in a universal set that are not in set A. So the complement can be denoted as the set name, so in this case set A, with an apostrophe, or A with a line over top. Those both mean the same thing. So an example, so we have our universal set 1, 4, 7, 10, 12, 15, 17, 20, and then set A is only 4, 10, and 17. So the complement is going to be everything from our universal set that is not 4, 10, and 17. So I'm going to cross those out, and whatever I'm left with is our complement. So 1, 7, 12, 15, and 20. The intersection of sets A and B is the set of all elements that are in both A and B. The intersection of set A and set B is denoted at A, upside down U, B. All right, so they have to be in both A and B. So we're given set A, 2, 6, 10, 13, 15, 17, and B is 2, 4, 10, 12, 17, 20. So everything that is in both of those, so everything those two sets have in common is called the intersection. So they both have a 2, they both have a 10, and they both have a 17. So my intersection is just 2, 10, 17. Because those are what the sets have in common. All right, page 2. The union of a set is denoted as A, U, B. All right, and this is all the elements that are in A or B. So that means they can be in either or they can be in both. So basically it's a combination of everything in set A and B put together. So we have set A and set B. So now we're going to make the union. So 2, and we want to go smallest to largest, 4, 6, 10, 12, 13, 15, 17, and 20. All right, so next we're going to talk about Venn diagrams, and that is what the worksheet is on pages 3 and 4. So Venn diagrams are a useful way to visualizing sets. Shade the diagrams below to show each relationship and give the symbolic notation below. So the complement is everything in the universal set. So this everything in this box that is not inside this circle. Okay? So that I was just going to, I'm going to shade everything outside of the circle. And we denote that as A apostrophe or A with a line over top. All right, intersection is everything that's in both A and B. So that would be where our two circles intersect, and that's A upside down U, B. And then the union is everything in set A and B. So I'm going to shade everything in A and B, and that's A, U, B. All right, so now we're going to practice with a Venn diagram. So label the Venn diagram with the information given for the set, then define each set to the right. So U is whole numbers that are at most 8, okay? So I'm going to put this over on the side. So our union is whole numbers that are at most 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, set A contains 2, 4, 5, and 7, and set B contains 4 and 7. So you're going to start with the intersection of A and B, so the things that they have in common, which are 4 and 7. So I'm going to put those, well, I guess I should, where my circles overlap. Okay, then in set A, 2 and 5 are only in set A, so that's going to go in our A circle, and 1 is only in B, so that's going to go in our B circle. Now, all the numbers over here that are not already numbered, we're going to put in the box of U. Okay, so we've already used 2, 5, 4, 7, and 1. So those other 3 numbers, 3, 6, and 8, those go in our universal set because they're not in set A or set B. All right, now to answer the questions. We want the complement of A. So all the numbers that are not in the A circle. Okay? So that would be 1, 3, 6, and 8. All right, now we want the complement of B, so everything not in the B circle. So 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8. Then A upside down UB is the intersection, so that's where they overlap, so what they have in common, so 4 and 7. And then the union would be everything inside A and B. All right, and then we are not going to talk about subsets in here, so you can go ahead and cross out that section. All right, so y'all are going to be doing worksheets 3 and 4. I'm going to go through 2 examples with y'all and then let y'all do the rest on your own. So we're going to do number 1 and number 4. The Venn diagram below shows the number of boys who play football or wrestle. So from here, we have our football circle, then we have a wrestling circle, and then this 9 are the ones that do both football and wrestling. And then this number out here means that they don't do either football or wrestling. So A, how many senior boys play football and wrestle? So that's how many that do both, which is where our circles overlap. So that would be 9. B, how many senior boys play football but do not wrestle? Okay. So they play football, so we know we're going to be looking in this circle, but they don't wrestle, so I'm not going to be looking at these 9. So I'm only looking at 18. All right. C, how many senior boys play football or wrestle? So that means union, so that means everything inside those 2 circles. So I'm going to add up those 3 numbers. So 18 plus 9 plus 12 gives me 39. And then the last one, how many senior boys wrestle? So that's the total number of people in my wrestling circle. So I'm going to add 9 and 12, and that's going to give me 21. All right, we're also going to do number 4 because it has 3 different circles. So the Venn diagram below shows the number of sophomores with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. So A, how many sophomores just have a Facebook account? So here's my Facebook circle. All right, but everywhere where these circles are overlapping means that they also have something else. So those 3 numbers, okay, they don't just have Facebook. This 37 also has Twitter. This 21 also has Instagram and Twitter. This 55 also has Instagram. So the number of students that only have a Facebook account is going to be 124. All right, B, how many sophomores have a Twitter or an Instagram account? All right, so Twitter or Instagram. So everything in my Twitter circle and everything in my Instagram circle. So I'm going to add up those 6 numbers. So when I add those up, 37 plus 46, 21, 55, 16, and 34, I get 209. Part C, how many sophomores have a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account? So that's where all 3 circles overlap, which is going to be right here in the middle. So that would be 21. All right, letter D, how many students do not have a Twitter account? So I'm going to shade everything in my Twitter circle. And then everything not in this circle, those are the numbers I'm going to add together. So 124, 55, 124 plus 55 plus 34. And we have to count this 28 that don't have Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I forgot about that number. So that gives me 241. All right, part E, how many students do not have a Facebook and Instagram account? So I'm going to shade where my Facebook and Instagram circles overlap, which would include the 55 and 21. And I'm going to add up all the numbers that are not highlighted, including our 28 people out here that don't have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So when I add all 6 numbers together, I get 285. All right, and that concludes the video for pages 1 through 4.